Your secrets, if you really look at yourself, you would be speechless. What happened to being doctors and teachers? What happened to being your brother's keeper? Nowadays, kids.
Hey guys, it's Vershad, aka SpaceBoy Vershad, and you're tuned in to BandClap.
Yeah.
You're in the mix with the DJ always banging the real hip hop. DJ
BandClap.
Yeah, been waiting, sensation, been building, impatient, been stressing, can't take this, depressing, still dressed in, same outfit from Tuesday to now and just needed a outlet. Friends told me, get out and have some fun. Have some fun. Have some fun. Wanna make love in the club like Usher. Shorty got an ass, ain't look, don't touch her. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I touched her, hold on. Cut the beat. Sorry, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to touch you. Maybe graze you. Alright, shit, back to it. Well, anything you could do, I can do better. Shorty, stop playing, girl, we should be together. Shorty moves up like a turtle, I'm a shredder. The way I kill the pussy, all the friends got a vendetta. Jealousy look good on her, I wish them all success. Bitch, I'm like John Wick, come and give me your best. It's still, shit, that was a lot. Well, still, we're having fun. Have some fun. Hands up, ayy. Hands up, ayy. Hands up, ayy. Have some fun. Hands up, ayy. Hands up, ayy. Have some fun. Have some fun. Baby, we moving now. Baby, we moving now. Have some fun. And baby, we moving now. Baby, we moving now. Have some fun. Baby, we moving now. Baby, we moving now. Have some fun. Baby, we moving now. Baby, we moving now. Have some fun.
Probably be the one to put my hand on your thigh, but I don't want it to be another friendly surprise. Another Me Too movement. Look at how I groove it. She wanna kick it and move it up. She wanna dance, she pitching tongue. Been a black kid with all white up. Think I need to grab her shot and go get some all white diamonds and all white gold. All I know is we partying all night long. She want me to name drop her right here in this song. She wanna join it, she wanna weasel. I can't dig her cause she evil. Hope we get greenlit for a sequel. Alien, but she come in peaceful. She likes the danger of things illegal. Her name Angel, but she too evil. Have some fun. Have some fun. Yeah, have some fun. Me and Vershad. Have some fun. Have some fun. No, have some fun. Grab your neighbor by you. Tell them.
Have some fun.
And tell them, tell them. And tell them.
Have some fun.
I swear. No, have some fun.
Have some fun.
Have some fun.
Woo-hoo. Woo.
All right, y'all, so we back. This is gonna be like a real quick video. I'm in my truck right now and I'm eating, about to head to my homeboy's crib, but it was just something that was on my mind that I just wanted to share with y'all. And the audio may sound a little crazy, but just bear with me. I'm trying to do the best that I can so I can keep putting some type of content out. I know it's a little crazy right now, but we all gonna get through this. Y'all mean. Now, a lot of spiritualists, shout out to my girl Melanie, the spirit doula. Everybody make sure that y'all check out that video, that the interview that she's gonna be in on Dreamwise's channel on Sunday. But I remember when she was talking about speaking to the trees and listening to the trees and listening to nature and all of that type of stuff. And then on the male side, I've been seeing a lot of male YouTubers who are spiritual and who are just now getting on their stages of enlightenment. A lot of the men are talking about sun gazing because, you know, as men, our masculinity comes from the sun anyway. Now with me, since I'm outside most of the time, not only am I waking up with the sun, so I'm getting the sunlight, I'm also getting the heat as well. And you know me, I like wearing all black, so shoot, when it's high time in the afternoon, man, my truck be like a sauna. And what this is teaching me is something that I used to do when I was a lot younger, but due to certain situations now changing, it's kind of some of those things that were essential, and you need to kind of keep some things from going stale that you learned when you was younger. And this is one of those things. This situation, this experience really taught me the importance of being able to regulate your own body heat to the point where you can be in a super hot situation that's hot like a sauna, and you can still maintain and regulate your own body heat to the point where your body heat gets to the point where you kind of stop sweating a little bit. You don't feel as hot or you don't feel as cold anymore because you done psyched out your mind so much to believe that what you're feeling is not even what you're really feeling. You start to trick your mind into cooling itself a lot more faster, I would say, and a lot more efficiently. And it really teach you those survival instincts that we as a people who used to live off the land, these are some of the survival instincts that we would use. And then after that, I got on YouTube, looked at some so madam with her crazy self, seeing what she talking about. And she was talking about some scriptures in the Bible of how Jesus would take like 3 of his disciples with him on a mountaintop, and he would literally transform himself almost on some Super Saiyan type shit. And you can go and look at So Madam's stream that she did about how Jesus wasn't crucified. And you know, she has her own way of giving information, just like how I got my own way for giving information. But either way, you know, those were some really powerful scriptures that she pointed out, and how, you know, because we're not taking it literal, we're taking this figuratively just so we can get the lesson and a message from it. You know, Jesus had to go all the way to the high mountaintop where in his line of vision, he was pretty much eyeing the sun. And as he gazed at the sun and he started to take that energy from the sun, and with the innocence and the purity of his heart, be able to use that energy from the sun, that divine masculine energy, and transform it and transmute it on an outward level. See, these are those type of powers, and these are those type of things that this system of soulless beings, this is the reason why, especially during this time, they really don't want you interacting with a lot of people like that. For some people, it's for their own good. Because what I'm sensing is that a lot of y'all, and I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist or a wacko guy when I say this, but I feel like some of y'all, within the first couple days of this quarantine, and you doing this spiritual work, and you're ascending from this dimension spiritually and psychologically and mentally, I feel like some of y'all are discovering these new and powerful powers that's starting to come online that you got. And some of y'all, until y'all can figure out how to be able to use this power in the real world, in the regular world, some of y'all need to be socially distanced for a little minute, because you're coming into some power that can be very detrimental if you don't fully know how to cut it on and cut it off, and you fully don't know the ins and outs of your power. It's kind of like, you know, it's Christmas time, you just got you a remote controlled car for the first time, and it's radio controlled and it don't got the cord on it. So you over here going crazy, and you want to take it outside and you want to play with it in the driveway and all of that type of stuff. But your mom and dad is telling you, no, you just got this. Last thing you want to do is to tear it up, and then we won't hear the last of it. You over there crying and all of that stuff. So before you take it out there, a place that's outside of our supervision, you need to play with it inside the house first. You need to get familiar with the remote control. You need to read the directions that came with the car. You need to learn how much things cost. So if something come up where you need to buy a battery or buy a wheel or something comes off of it or something, how much would it cost for you to replace those things? So it's a lot that's going into this, but I just feel on the inside that there's a lot more good than bad. It's just that the small part of it that's bad, the powers that be and the system of soulless beings wants to put you under this illusion that the small part that's bad is actually worse than what it really is. So with that being said, I agree with Dolo the Pilot Man when he was talking about any spiritualist, anybody out here that's still talking about this, virus as it's a real thing and all of that. We just need to respect that person for where they're at in their spiritual enlightenment, but it doesn't hurt to cut that person off and listen to something that's higher vibrational. It don't make that person no better or no worse as a teacher. It doesn't make that person no better or no worse as an orator or nothing like that. But it's just that, and I was talking about this in Creating Your Own World, like I say, it's good to keep your ear to the streets when it comes to making sure that you're on the up and up with certain information. But as soon as somebody starts talking about some information that's not really suiting you, and also if you feel like that you've surpassed certain people that you used to listen to, now it's time for you to go out there and find more higher vibrational people that's operating on a higher vibration than you, and start getting that game and start cultivating that game. And that's how you become stronger. So while I was doing my sun gazing meditation, and then I went to Walmart, got a few things, and on my way back to my truck, I just got this kind of reassuring type of voice. It was like, as long as there's still salvageable innocence in the world, in this earth, the earth would never be destroyed. Let me say it again. As long as there are salvageable innocence on this earth, the earth cannot be destroyed. Because the earth, whether you want to call it, Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, whatever you want to call it, but it's a different level of hurt that happens with the earth when innocence is taken away. And this is one of the main reasons why the Kobe death hit us as hard as it did. Because if it was just Kobe that died, we would still be mourning his death, and it would still be a very, very tragic death. But the fact that his daughter, his innocent daughter that was young, and she was very, very destined to follow in her father's footsteps, playing basketball and all of that stuff, and her life got taken, that's what kind of added that emotional type of element along with that. And on a larger scale, like I said, this is what's going on the earth right now. It's like on the spiritual and a metaphysical end, the primordial ones like Lilith and Akasha, they're like, look, this shit has been fucked up for so long, and we just been sitting back, letting things get all polluted and all of this stuff going on. We need to just eradicate all of these humans and start a whole new world. And the great mothers of the earth, the Yemoyas and the Lasarins and all of them, in a lot of ways, they were kind of on board with it at first. But it's always something that ends up changing her mind, and that something is always the cry of the innocence. And that's why when I had that meditation, my inner child and my inner child's version of divine femininity, which was the baby Eshu and the baby Oshun, when they made that journey to Yemoya, it was like that divine feminine safe haven type of situation, because all that meditation was just the journey of the soul. And see, a lot of times when it comes to especially us men out here, when we get grown, and I'm talking about the generation, my generation and a little bit before mine, you always had that praying grandmother that no matter what type of dirt, no matter what type of stuff that you would get into, that praying grandmother would always look at you as her baby. And even though she would be stern too, like your mom, but she had this divine femininity about her that you could just come over to her place and she asks you what you want to eat, and you can just go over your grandmother's house, and if you just want to curl up in the ball and cry, you can do that. And you know that your grandmama not gonna look at you no different. You know, you can tell your grandmama about some situations that you're going through with your relationship or something like that, and your grandmother will actually give you some really, really good advice. Especially if grandmama used to do her thing out in the streets too. You know, back in the day, shucking and jiving. You know what I mean? But that divine feminine that we used to could come back to if things got a little too hard out there. And we just need to kind of retreat, get our bearings, get ourselves back on our feet, and go back out there into the battlefield. This is something that has been taken away from a lot of us men. So once we give it our all out here in this battlefield called the world, and getting our souls sucked away from us because we have to try to make it in this system that was created by soulless beings whose main goal is to suck away your innocence and your solar power just for them to make money and to feed off of your fear. This is the reason why a lot of men are dying so young. This is the reason why there are so many warrior gods that's in jail. All because out of pure anger, they made a decision that they shouldn't have made, that costed them their livelihood and their freedom. And if only they had a grandmama house, not grandmother, not grandma, a grandmama. If only they had a grandmama house that they could go to, and she would be able to talk some sense into him, all of this stuff that happened to him wouldn't have even happened. And I know this is something that a lot of guys, you know, they kind of gave up on this. You know, they don't really like talking about it. They kind of talk about it as if it's a thing of the past. But as men, especially as an alpha male, that divine feminine grandmothering type of energy is a lot more beneficial to us when we're older than when we're younger, simply because as a man, the older you get, just like that issue story that I talked about in my last video, you really start to see that you can't really trust nobody out here. You start to figure out all of those so-called friends and, you know, people that you used to be around. You get to see their true intentions, and, you know, it scares a lot of people. It's very scary. But at the same time, you know, as men, this is why we have a lot of trust issues, because a lot of us, it took us forever and a day to get to the position that we're at. And, you know, as a man, especially as a black man, all it takes is that one little thing and your whole world just comes crashing down. And once your world comes crashing down, who do you really have that's gonna take you in, tell you that everything is gonna be okay, give you some good food, some good loving, give you some good motivation, even try to make some plans to use some of her expertise to be able to help you get back on your feet. You know, for a lot of guys out here, this is kind of a fairy tale. And with me growing up, for the most part, around a lot of examples of love, and me seeing how a divinely feminine woman can really change a guy for the better, especially when you really out here and you striving and you trying to do the best that you can do, and then something, you know, like this epidemic that's going on, it just happens out of the blue. The message that I got from the sun is, for the pure-hearted and innocent spirit people that's out here struggling because of this epidemic, there is a spiritual stimulus package that's coming for y'all. Well, I'm gonna say coming for us, because this is the thing. You got three people in this world during this time. You got the spiritually overprepared. You know, these are the people that not only did they heed the warnings of the universe, but they just have a survivalist type of mindset in general. So while this stuff was going on, they were already straight. You got people that's been living off the grid since like 2015. You know, before that, I've been hearing spiritualists talk about that right after the recession in 2008, they started getting themselves prepared for a situation like this. You know, back when talks about stuff like this was still in the conspiracy theory category. Now, you got the sleep person, and these are the people that's going to get washed up in the current. Some of them are going to get taken down by the vortexes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to that part 2 live stream that I did about Lilith and the Dark River, you know. And these are the people that's going to end up not being able to survive or take care of themselves during this time. Or these are the people that's using this time to finally go up those stages of enlightenment. Now, you got a third category of people. Now, this category of people are people who got pure hearts and innocent spirits. They already kind of live a minimalist type of lifestyle in general. So even though they do a lot of spiritual work, you know, helping people out, putting out messages from spirit and stuff like that, they already live a certain type of lifestyle to where they don't really have a lot of money on them in general, because they're either giving it away to different causes, helping people out, doing stuff like that. So they don't really have a lot of money in general, but they're very humble, they're very pure-hearted, and an epidemic like this would really, really hurt those type of people. And in this category, I would also include children, you know, minors who have to depend on their parents and stuff like that, because these type of people that's in this third category, they depend solely on spirit. And these are the people that's going to get this spiritual stimulus package, because with me, I'm looking at this stuff as above, so below. So in the as above, you have this virus, which is nothing but a upgraded version of symptoms that we already have during this time anyway. But then they're also trying to bring in 5G, which is going to be a faster speed and download speeds and stuff like that. A lot of these things which have been proven to be detrimental not only to our bodies, but our internal cellular structures as human beings in general. You got all of these big name moguls and big name CEOs stepping down. You got these celebrities coming out talking about, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. And then we're on lockdown. A lot of people say that this is what's going to bring in the new world order, or the new world currency that's supposed to be taking place. And then last but not least, Donald Trump just came out and said that he's about to do a stimulus package, which is $1,200 to be exact. You know, 1 + 2 is 3. You got the 2 crossroads with the 1 in the middle. You can take that however you want to take it. Now, how does this work in the spiritual and in the metaphysical? So when you flip it to as below or so below, now it means that we too have a shift in consciousness that's changing. We're going from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, which means the vibration on the earth is different. You're going to have to end up being at a higher vibration in order for you to sustain yourself on this planet. And the people who can't get there are going to be way more susceptible to things like archonic forces being able to attack them, spiritual parasites being able to latch themselves onto you, in tranquil spirits who's going to now be able to mount you effortlessly and give you a lot of pain and suffering, because there's a lot of dimensions that are coming together as one. So there's a lot of warring and a lot of commotion that always happens when there's a new shift. Just like naturally when things go from winter to spring and your body has to get used to the weather change, you know, so quite naturally you might get a small cold, or you might get the allergies, or you might get some type of nasal congestion or something, but it passes. You know, it don't take long for your body to get used to the heat, you know, especially if you're outside and you're sun gazing and you're working out and you're in nature. It's not going to take too long for your body to get used to the spring weather. Well, this is what's going on spiritually as well, but it's a lot different, because this time it's not only just giving birth to a new aspect of your reality, meaning that your reality when it was wintertime, the world and the environment around you looked totally different. It was probably covered in snow. It was super cold. It had Christmas decorations around. But now in the springtime, your reality around you is about to change. It's changing now. But the difference between that and this is a whole new world as we know it. The new heaven and the new earth. All of that is now starting to try to integrate itself. And it's something that the soulless beings is kind of trying to keep certain things under wraps and try to make some very, very vague and fictional explanations to things that's going on spiritually, because they know that people fear what they don't understand. Now, beware, because just like how on the as above side, you had a lot of great CEOs and you had a lot of great and powerful people step down from their position, and they had to transition into another type of existence other than them being a CEO. That's what's going on spiritually too. Layla Africa and that other older gentleman that was a staple when it comes to consciousness and health and wellness and stuff like that. Like I told y'all at the beginning of last month or during the Kobe death, you remember when I told y'all a lot of big people are going to end up making the transition. See, it's happening as above first. So when it happens below, you can be like, man, I already knew this was going to happen. Like I already knew it. So when I saw that Layla Africa transition, I'm like, okay, Layla Africa is like the conscious Bill Gates. He's like the Bill Gates of health and wellness. He's like the Bill Gates when it comes to consciousness and his knowledge and all the things that he left for us. And just like how Bill Gates stepped down from Microsoft so he can put more energy into the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, that's the same thing that our ancestors who's making this transition, that's what they're doing to help us out on the other side. So please give these ancestors energy and give them power on the other side so they'll be able to help us out during this time. Because just like how Idris Elba said that he didn't witness no type of symptoms, but he still got it, that's going to be the same way a lot of these spiritual teachers and a lot of these elders, this is how they're going to make the transition. It's going to be very peaceful, or it's going to be a very, very quick death. And it's going to be up to us to be tapped into the metaphysical and the spiritual in this planet that we're living in this dimension that we're living in, so we can still not only keep their teachings alive on this side, but this is what y'all don't understand. A lot of these spiritual teachers, they're still doing spiritual work, and they still have so much to teach and so much to tell when they're on the other side too. So man, think about all the esoteric knowledge that Layla Africa is going to have to be able to share with somebody who can still get in contact with him even though he's on the other side. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all. But the main thing that I wanted to stress, like I said, is that the innocent hearted, the pure hearted will always be taken care of. And I was kind of reminded of this video that I looked at on Instagram, and it was a very, very simple video, but Spirit kind of brought this back to my attention to really be able to drive this point home. And this video was about, it was like this 8-year-old girl, and she was laying on the couch and she was crying, and her mom was trying to cheer her up, trying to get her to get up, but she didn't move, she didn't want to eat, and she was just crying. So I'm like, yo, like, you know, what's wrong with this little girl? So I found out, I kept watching the video, and I found out that she was sad because during this coronavirus situation going on with the quarantine and the social distancing, it pretty much fucked up her whole weekend, because that weekend she was supposed to have a 8-year birthday party. She was supposed to have a party for her 8th birthday. Since everything was going on, none of her friends wanted to come to her house to have the party. Since everybody's in quarantine, it would have been a boring party anyway if her parents would have allowed them to come to the party, because it only would have been like 10 people. She couldn't go to the place that she wanted to go to have her party. So pretty much her whole 8th birthday was just ruined. And it was crazy because, you know, the mom she was trying to be supportive. She was trying to be like, yo, you want some crab legs? Do you want this? Do you want that? And, the child, she was just crying. She was like, no, I don't, I just want to have my party, but I can't have my party. I don't like this virus that's going on. So me being a grown up, I was like, man, she'll understand one day. Hopefully when all this is over, she'll be able to make it up to her daughter, and hopefully she'll be able to do something fun. But then, I don't know why I did this, but when I went within and my inner child had to have his 2 cents put in, I started to kind of feel this type of sadness. And it's that type of sadness you feel when you're going through something that's not your fault. So you have to take certain measures that's not in your control, and it kind of hurts you that you got to do it. Or kind of like that feeling of being caught in the crossfire of something that's just not your fault. And I remember talking to one of my soul family members, and they was telling me about this overwhelming sadness that they've been starting to feel every time that they go around people and go outside. And now I get it. See, a lot of us, we're only thinking about our little bubble. A lot of us, we're only thinking about, what's fucked up for us. We can't go to the club. We can't go to the bar. We can't go and link up with a chick from Tinder or something and still be able to kick her out after, everything is over without having to worry about a curfew and, grown people shit. But then I had to think about it. I had to kind of put myself in that child's shoes for a minute. Like, man, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I bet ever since she was 7 years old, all the way up to this point, because I know I was like this. I couldn't wait. When I was a kid, I couldn't wait till my birthday. See, those was the 2 things, when you were a kid and your dad and your mom, they want to ground you, or they want to try to say something to you that they know is going to make you act right. And they be like, you better quit it. You better stop, or you ain't going to get enough for Christmas or your birthday. When I tell you, that's all my mom and dad had to tell me to straighten up and fly right. Because, man, I don't know if I feel like I probably said this before, but, my dad, he works at a certain grocery chain. So when I was a kid, sometimes the way my dad would surprise me to have birthday parties is that he would come up to my school and the teacher would be in on it. He would come up to my school and surprise me with this big old cake, and the whole classroom just turns into a pizza party. So needless to say, a lot of people would like me simply because they knew about my dad and the things that he would do and all of that. And see, this was a good and a bad thing, but I get into that on a different video. But I remember when I was a kid, man, every day I would wake up down there. I was like, man, I can't wait till I get this age, and have this type of birthday party. And little girls, man, they worse than us. They be fantasizing. They be like, oh man, I'm gonna have these type of decorations. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I bet her parents was telling her like, look, you better do good in school if you want this for your birthday. And she's like, yeah. So she got all the good grades in school. She, did her homework, did her chores, did everything that she was supposed to do. She done the work. She did everything she was supposed to do. She like, all right, let's start planning, because my birthday is next weekend. What's up? My birthday coming up. What's up? I done everything I'm supposed to do. And then this coronavirus hit. She like, all right, that's cool. Just make sure that we have some hand sanitizer. Make sure all the kids wash their hands and all of that. But then they hit you with that 1-2 KO punch, which is that, you got a curfew, social distancing, everybody's supposed to stay in the house. And it's like, with every single news story, her world just start crashing and tumbling down little by little by little until now we're at this point. And just how I said that, I know that her mom is gonna really, really make this up to her in a major way, because it wasn't her fault that we're going through this epidemic. She didn't have nothing to do with it. She just wanted to have a birthday party, and she can't have a birthday party. Now, if that's the same type of energy as an adult that you have, you got that pure heart, like, yo, I've been doing my spiritual work, I've been doing my shadow work, You know, I've been out here telling my message to people, you know, to help them with their journey. You know, I've been out here in the field spending all my money, you know, trying to help people with their visions and helping people do spiritual work and doing consultations and, you know, all of those type of things. So quite naturally, you wouldn't be as financially prepared, especially for something like this. Now, people like that, these are the people that this spiritual stimulus check, if you will, these are the people that's going to be like the first in line to get it. Because, you know, even with this stimulus check that's going on right now with Trump, don't sit up here and believe that there's not going to be some stipulations and some red tape and all of that you're probably going to have to go through to get that little $1,200 check. But this is just my message that I want to put out, and this is super impromptu. I'm just in my car recording this audio on my phone because I really had to put this out. I really don't care. I know I made a lot of mistakes, but to the pure-hearted and to the innocent, Spirit does not want you around here feeling like you're being punished for being good. Spirit don't want you out here feeling that you're being punished for being righteous. You're being punished for being pure. Cause it's like, I can kind of feel y'all. You know, y'all like, man, you know, I gave so much money to this person, or I did my last to help somebody out, to do this and do that. If I would have known that this virus was gonna be this bad, I probably would have done it, or I probably would have did things differently. No, don't think like that. I'm trying to tell you, don't think like that. Because the stimulus package that we about to get, and I don't wanna seem like I'm on some preaching shit, and I also don't want to seem like Martin Luther King, but I've been to the mountaintop and I've seen the stimulus check, and it is so good. All right, let me stop. But I just wanted to come on here just to tell y'all, man, that yo, keep being pure. You know, keep expressing your inner child, because literally you are the only reason why this world as we know it isn't being fully destroyed. Now, a lot of people gonna die. Don't get it twisted. And a lot of people are gonna transition. But this is not a bad time. This is not a bad time. Just look at this as a reconstruction period. Stay positive, stay motivated. Don't listen to too much negativity. Keep yourself in a equilibrium as much as you possibly can. And keep that notion in your head that help is on the way. And you know what? You'll be glad you did. That's my new my new laugh, y'all. Oh, I'm a super goofball, y'all. I am a super goofball, and I'm not high. So don't y'all be thinking that I indulged in a spliffy before I made this recording. No, I am not high right now. This is normal me. I really felt like I was just all over the place, but I brought it home good. I'm proud of myself. I am proud of myself, and y'all should be proud of y'allself too, because, you know, no matter what type of information that you feel that you should put out, you know, whether it's whether you feel like it's impactful or not, it is impactful to somebody. So I know that it's somebody out there who was down on their luck. They felt like they needed a motivational word, and then I just come out of nowhere with my goofy self, and you know, be able to put a smile on somebody's face, because, you know, like I said, you know, we got to help our fellow brothers and sisters out. Speaking of that, I appreciate everybody who's been hitting me up asking for readings. If you want to know more information about my reading, my natal chart readings and my natal chart consultations, feel free to email me at shopmellyamar@gmail.com. Like I always say, like, share, subscribe, make sure that notification bell is lit, and be sure to follow me on all my platforms too. You know, this isn't going to stop me from putting out content or stuff like that, you know. And as I always say, BandClap TV, we out. And no matter what, you have to stay shining. I try to told y'all. I try to told y'all that y'all gotta stay shy.